question is for Carrie Devine. When the city started its incentives program several years ago, it was billed as a way to attract businesses that otherwise wouldn't have come. Yet incentives have routinely been given to companies that have already committed to the project in advance of receiving incentives. Is the program working? And if not, what would you change about it?
I have had issues with the incentive program, sometimes as it's presented to us. When we started the incentive program several years ago, it was to go out and attract businesses that we did not have and really saw a need for. What I think is sometimes not always clear, even to council, is all the businesses that we don't incentivize, the ones that don't rise to that level, that aren't the businesses that we really need, or they're going to create the number of jobs or put in the capital investment that we're looking for. And so when we see a proposal before us, it's not the only ones there. It's not the only one that was presented. It's the one that rose to that level, and now they're seeking that support from council. So I think overall, the process has worked. We have brought in some businesses through Eagle Village, through ILM Corporations coming in, Office Park. We've got some real solid businesses that have expanded. You look at some of the restaurants and businesses downtown that have taken advantage of the incentive program. And so we'd like to be attracting some of the other businesses that aren't here yet, and we're working on that. Again, with the economy being as it was the past few years, that's not an excuse, that's just a reality. It's a reality that there are certain businesses that aren't coming to Fredericksburg because of the size that we are. We think we're great, we know we are, but we don't necessarily have the demographics and economics that every business is looking for. So again, the incentive program has worked. I think it can use improvement. I think it can expand it and be more aggressive with it to get businesses that we identify and we attract here.
No, they're not working. If you look at the revenue projections that we've received since we've been doing it the last few years, we have not seen any significant bumps. Any bumps that we've gotten is because of development outside the area, because most of the incentives we've gotten is going to downtown. And the issue we've had is that we're incentivizing a restaurant when we don't have the infrastructure to support everything downtown. So one restaurant gets incentivized, and let's say even makes its amount of money, we're ending up losing a restaurant. We've got a revolving door going on downtown. And to incentivize a music store that's catty corner for another music store who's trying to stay alive because of what's going on at the Guitar Center and it's supposed to be a town center, that's an issue. What we really need to be doing with incentives is having the discussion. What exactly are we looking for? What do we want? And base those incentives on bringing in those type of businesses, which basically means scrapping, fill out the form, automatic formula, you get it whether you're coming here or not, and go to a system where we really want this business and ask them, what do you need to get here? And then we can start that discussion and have a public discussion and move on. But right now, it's not working.
I touched on this on the opening speech, and I said that too many of the issues tonight are going to be about a lack of financial planning. A business shows up downtown and asks to be incentivized, do we or don't we? Who knows? We don't have a plan. We need to adopt a consensus-vetted financial plan. That plan will tell us which businesses to target. Should we incentivize everybody? Fredericksburg is a beautiful place. There's already an incentive to come here. Do they need economic help? Maybe. If part of our plan is to grow that type of business, then we should look at incentivizing them, and we should also have an idea not just if, but how much. So we should target and we should quantify. But you cannot begin to do that until you have a financial plan. Again, we need a vetted consensus financial plan that has goals and incentives that allows us to grow our revenue streams in a way that reflect who we are as a city and where we want to be.
The bottom line is we put the mechanisms in place. We've got the technology and tourism zones, we've got the arts districts. Now it's time to actually offer what I would refer to as grown-up incentives. I'm all for the beautification of downtown and other businesses with new awnings and exterior facade improvements, 100%. I'm behind it. However, as several of the other candidates have suggested, we need to decide what it is that we want to reward and what it is that our city deserves. I would propose to you that that's professional jobs. I propose that an immediate solution or a first target would be the defense industry. Not because that's where I come from, I just happen to know it, but because that is one of the largest employers in our area. And the surrounding counties are knocking it out of the park. Quite frankly, what we need is leaders who are willing to take the mechanisms that are in place and swing the bat.